Hello, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you're here. Hang on just one second. There we go. All right. Welcome. My name's Kim McClure, and you are here with me in KDM Life and Beauty School Session 1. So excited. Drop in the comments whether you are coming live with me right now or if you are watching this recorded because I can't wait. My goal this week is to add value to your life. I want to give you lots and lots of value. I want to teach you some of the things that I've learned in 35 years of being in the beauty industry. And so today is all about foundations, concealers, and powder. All right. So again, drop in the comments. Let me know if you're watching me live or if you're watching me recorded, okay? And as we go through, if you have questions, please put them in the comments. I'll answer them, and maybe it'll come up in the next video. So we've got 5 days of me coming live to you at noon every day, sharing with you about something with beauty. Okay, so today is foundation, powder, and concealer. Again, my name's Kim McClure. Please let me know who you are and where you're watching, whether you're watching live or recorded. Okay, so number one, we're going to talk about concealers. All right. So there are different methods on concealers. Concealer needs to be about 1 shade to 2 shades lighter than your foundation. And a concealer does exactly what it says. A concealer conceals. All right. So for instance, I've already got my makeup on, but I'm going to show you what a concealer would do. All right. I have this tiny little brown spot right here. This is going to be your concealer. Your concealer you can apply with either a brush or a sponge. Now I like to wet my sponge and I want to show y'all the difference. This is a blending sponge. This is one that is not wet. This is one that is wet. So you can see the difference in the size, and don't judge because it's mine. Okay, so it's kind of nasty looking, but it does get washed daily. All right, so anyway, so that is the first thing. I always come back with my sponge to make sure that I've got them blended. All right, I apply it with a brush. I love a flat tipped brush. That's the best way to apply a concealer. Now, under your eyes for concealer, it's a choice on whether you want to use a lighter concealer or if you want to use what I call an under eye corrector, and it is more of flesh tone. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is more flesh tone. Can you see that? And this one is more light. You'll see that. Okay, so you can see the difference. I prefer more of a flesh tone under my eyes. Now, if you're over 30, here's what I recommend. That you only go in where it's dark and then right at the edge. Again, I like to come back with my brush to get in the area and then just right there. Again, I'll take a dampened sponge and go into it, kind of blending it out, making sure that it's there. So can you see the difference in how it lightened up my eye? You can really see it, can't you? I kind of have some puffiness under there. So anyway, all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is when matching your foundation. When matching your foundation, so many times you've heard that you can do it to the inside of the wrist, but look at the difference in my wrist. If I can get my wrist to turn around, there we go. My wrist and my face. There's a big difference, gang. So you don't want to do that because then you wouldn't end up with the right thing. So what you want to do is you want to take and apply a foundation right here on the face and let it sit for just a minute, blending it in. You don't want to let it just sit there. You want it to blend, okay? The next tip that you can't live without is foundation primer. You know how when you paint a wall, the wall has all, like the unevenness? Well, the reason you apply a primer is to get that smoothness. So I'm going to show you on the back of my hand primer and no primer. Okay, so primer is like a silicone. All right, so we're going to show you the backs of my hands, one with the primer, one without. Oh, you can already see it without even foundation on. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to put foundation on and watch this. You're going to see why you need primer always. Okay. Now, I will tell you, you can use a CC cream, which is a color corrective cream. It's kind of like we used to know them as more as tinted moisturizers. It's just a little sheer coverage that's going to even out your skin tone. You can use that as a primer if you are allergic to primer or can't use a primer, okay? So this is the difference. Can you see it? The hand with primer, look how smooth, and the hand without. Oh my gosh. So you want to always use a primer under your foundation, all right? So your skin changes throughout the year. Would you all agree that so many times we get darker in the summer, even if we are smart and wear SPF every day, we still can get a little bit of color in our face. And so it's important to change your foundations in the summer and in the winter. And one way you can do that, and this is my very favorite way, is I add just a little darker CC cream, just a dot, to my foundation. So what I'll do in the mornings, this is my trick almost all the time. In the summer, I'll add like a light to medium CC to my foundation. And in the winter, I'll go back to light because I lose all my color. So what I do, and again, some people don't like it on the back of their hand. Some people prefer a palette, and you can certainly do that. This is something that I have gotten off of Amazon, and you can just simply put your foundations on there and mix them. So, but what I do is I just do the back of my hand. So I've got my foundation, and then I just take a little dab of my CC cream. I mix the two, then I begin to apply it on my face. I do recommend applying this, on your face, then coming back with your wet sponge or blending brush. You can choose to do a blending brush, which is more of a dense application, but it's not quite as dense as the sponge. Or you can even do a more sheer coverage and use a foundation brush, okay? And so you're going to go in an upward-outward motion when you first apply your foundation, all right? The last application of your foundation needs to be in a downward motion to make sure that you get the hairs down, okay? Because you don't want those little hairs standing up, making you look older than you are. So, all right. Next, another tip that you can do is you can also use some concealer right in the bridge of your nose, here and under here, and give yourself a little bit of a highlight, okay? And that's just a total and complete preference as to whether you want to do that or not. You may not. But can you see how it just added just a little bit of brightness? Then you're going to set your makeup with a powder or a finishing spray, depending on your skin type. And you make sure that the powder that you're using is very, very finely milled, because the more finely milled it is, the less it will go into the fine lines. All right. I do not recommend powder under the eyes at all. I try to use as little under the eyes as possible. I will let you in on the secret at the end, though, on how to look even better under the eyes. Okay, so you can use either a translucent powder, which a translucent powder is going to be more white and clear, all right? Or you can use more of a setting powder, which is going to be more of your foundation color, all right? That's totally up to you. You'll take a large brush, a powder brush, and just simply brush again in a downward motion to set and hold the makeup. Finishing spray is the key. Oh my goodness. Let me show you. Of course, finishing spray, what you're going to do is once you've got your foundation and your makeup on, you're going to close your eyes, do an X, and apply it and let it sit. This is also a great pick-me-up in the middle of the day if you get like, you've had a really long day and you still got to look cute. You can spray it on and it will help freshen your makeup. Now, here's the key. under your eyes. You're going to spray just a little bit of your finishing spray to your fingertip. You're going to get your fingertip wet. You're going to apply it under your eyes. And guess what, girls? I hope you're okay with me calling you girls. Ladies, women, your makeup is not going to go anywhere. It is like spray net for hairspray for your eyes. Your mascara is not going to run. Your eyes are going to look softer because you've added just a little bit of moisture under there. It is amazing. I promise. I am so excited. I've got a sister who has she and I both have struggled with our eye makeup, our mascara always running. And of course I use waterproof on the bottom for that reason. But this has been a huge, huge blessing. Oh my goodness. And I love the way that it moistens my skin and gives me that little bit of moisture because I'm super dry. So if you're super oily, I promise you'll love it as well. It's not going to make you feel oily at all. Don't forget about beauty blotters. If you don't know about beauty blotters, these are the most wonderful things since sliced bread. They're linen tissues. You can get them anywhere, and you'll just simply, you can use them on your lips, you can use them on your face. They will absorb the oils, but not any makeup. As you can see, I have no oil, so that's interesting. Okay, now one foundation I did not talk about is a cream to powder. A cream to powder is going to be more of a really much thicker application. And I'm going to just take a little bit and apply it here on my hand for you to see. Can you see how much thicker that is? So if you're wanting really, really, let me do it a little darker so you can see. If you're wanting a really deep or even perfect skin tone, I guess you would say, not skin tone, perfect cover, like a lot of coverage, a cream to powder is what you're going to want. So can you see how much heavier that coverage is? So we've talked about CC creams, which are a very light coverage. We've talked about a foundation, and I don't think I mentioned, you can do a luminous, which is more of a creamy, glowy look, if you like that. I find that my oily girls don't usually like that. They prefer a matte. I find that I love the way that the matte foundation and the CC cream come out together because it gives me just a scooch of a luminous, but I still have that matte look, and I love the matte look even though I'm dry. So that is going to be a personal preference. And of course, you can also do just a setting powder. Now, a great way if you have really fabulous skin, and if you're taking care of your skin, you should have great looking skin, then you can put your foundation just in the middle and blend it out so that you get a really light coverage and it doesn't make you appear older. Okay, so let's talk about real quick what happens if you're really red on the chest and neck area, which happens to a lot of women. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you blend it really, really well. You're going to add a small amount of moisturizer to your foundation, kind of blend it out to where that it's not as thick. Apply it to your chest, blot with a beauty blotter or a paper towel, a really soft paper towel, not a rough one, okay? And then apply your powder and your setting spray. Come back with your beauty blotter and or paper towel and make sure that there's no color coming off on it. If there is, retouch up with powder and setting spray. And I promise you that you will not have the color on your on your clothing. Okay, so today we've talked about foundation, concealer, setting spray, and powders. So I hope today has helped. If you have questions, please let me know. And again, I don't know if I covered this, I can't remember, but when you are matching your foundation, you're going to want to do a stripe test. I always do 3 stripes, and the one that goes in completely that you can't even see is your match. So get with a consultant. somewhere that has experience and or someone that can, get you samples or whatever so that you can try. If you have questions about what I've covered, please put them in the comments below. And I hope that you've learned a little bit today about foundations, concealers, and powders. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to hear your questions.